bans and Ying bans. They're fairly standard bans from paiN. However, Liquid have been very creative with their bans, but I feel like we're going to see a lot of Mirror and Echo taken out as a standard operator, and I think we're going to lose a lot of Buck.
Yeah, Buck has been a pretty prevalent ban for Liquid. However, that is a very interesting ban. It is going to be the Habana ban, and honestly, from paiN, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a Thatcher ban coming out from them.
Yeah, obviously, Liquid have the first 5 defense, so taking that Habana, getting those drop downs a bit harder. There goes Lion. They're putting a lot of weight now in getting this first 5, because as we said, this is a map that, depending on what operators get let through, can be very heavily towards the defense. So this ban from paiN is going to be big, and it would be crazy if they didn't take Mirror off the table.
I mean, would it be really too far out there to not see a Mirror? Maybe an Echo or indeed a Maestro coming off the table would be big as well, but also a Clash, because Liquid do play Clash. Of course, Sexycake has played a pretty decent Clash so far during this tournament, so we've seen that come off the board. And Liquid are going to find out. Doubt it's going to be Echo, probably a Maestro and Mirror here. No, it's actually going to be the Echo.
To be fair, they've taken Echo out a couple of times in their previous games. They don't... I mean, Zig's played Echo a bit, but is more than happy to rotate to Doc, more than happy to rotate to other defenders. So I think removing Echo and taking it out of paiN Gaming setup is... Hey, if they don't want to deal with it, they don't want to deal with it.
We'll see how it goes down as we move into round number 1. It's going to be the laundry room, supply room defense to start with here. And I'm going to be interested to see how indeed it does go down, because those bans, while they seem fairly default, except from the Habana, in combination, it's kind of interesting with the Clash off the board here to see how Liquid plays it. But we've seen Liquid on Oregon before, and they played it just a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, obviously, we talk about the P90 plays from Sexycake as well. We found ourselves...
No, it wasn't just P90 plays.
Okay,
it was P90 peeking up onto the double window into a glass in smoke and winning the fight somehow.
And a Jackal. A Jackal was there as well.
That's true.
We look at the stats, obviously, of Sexycake, and just in the previous kind of game, went 32 to 20. Big frag. Rotates between a heap of mana ops. And to be fair, I know I said it would be crazy if they didn't ban Mirror, and they didn't. Against Sexycake on a Clash, who we know can play Clash in situations that you arguably shouldn't be able to, and how well Liquid can run shields, that does make a fair bit of sense.
No, it definitely does make a lot of sense. We'll see how he goes through, as we'll see round number 1 getting underway now. And I don't know. I'm kind of worried about how maybe aggressive Liquid are going to play this. I mean, their operator picks don't really suggest too much of an aggressive hold, but just looking at where they've rotated to and where they're playing kind of suggests that it is going to be aggressive. But, I mean, Oregon does kind of demand a roamer game.
It definitely demands the ability to have a little bit more option off at the point. You want to try and draw as many fights as possible just away from where you've set up, because there's a lot of quick ways into points and a lot of quick motions onto points. So the more you can pull them away from that, and the more you can kind of draw their attention to other places, just buys you so much. Sexycake already exceptionally injured, however, so not quite sure what's happened there, but GCR finds the first frag, and Zig rage quits the game because of it.
I'm sure he just had a few connection issues there. Liquid have had quite a number of connection issues recently as well, so hopefully Zig does manage to get quickly back into the game, but he will go down as the first kill of the round and the game as well. GCR will rotate around, does get a little bit lit up here from Nest playing around to the big tower. GCR is going to get quickly into Attic, open it up. FK1 moves around into the big tower as well, but Bullet will take him down. Sorry, that was Bullet there who will eliminate him. Nest still playing around onto the big tower, so beautifully played here from Liquid to remain aggressive without giving away all of their positions just yet.
Obviously, this is an integral part of any push towards here. They are getting the Texan Dynamite down. GCR finds Nest as well. That is the Valk off the board. And again, a big player off the board. Bullet is starting to rotate background from tower. Worried about someone pushing across from meeting, and you can see they are looking for the frags, but consistently being watched. Plenty of time to get that reset onto GCR. Even though you're against those 3 defenders on that point, you've got to be full strength, because you know that if you bring out a firefight with some of these players, it's going to keep going. They are very good at picking those fights. Bullet teasing a little bit closer towards the meeting. Just going to hold it. At the same time, the other angle is being held, can't push too aggressively as they start to make their way downstairs.
And nades are going to come out from GCR to try and destroy the Maestro camera, and I think he got it. I'm not quite sure because the smoke just covered it up at the last second. But Spawns is going to be holding down. He doesn't get the kill. Bullet shuts him down. Beautiful peek there. Coming out from Bullet. It's a 3v3 situation now. Bullet is still on the roam. Nine does manage to find 60k because he tries to peek it out. GCR takes down Bullet and leaves it all into PSK on a pretty much a small fraction of health. Now they don't know where he is, and he will be able to light up Nine, but doesn't manage to injure him just yet. Doesn't have a nitro either, so he's waiting for a push, but a push that's probably never going to come as the diffuser should start to come through here from Thermite. There we go, will start to get planted down. They know he's going to be pushing the hallway, and GCR will take him down. paiN Gaming take round number 1.
That was a fairly solid take. I think something we've noticed about Liquid as the games go on is they often struggle with that opening round in the opening games, and then they're very much a momentum-based team where the longer they're in it and the longer they're involved, they just keep finding themselves and keep kind of getting themselves sorted. Again, can't take anything away from there from GCR getting an opening 4K, which is always very big.
Unfortunately, only one round in, and we're already having a rehost there. Team Liquid, unfortunately, having a few connection issues there, but also having a few gameplay issues.
Yeah, I mean, connection issues, for one thing, have plagued them throughout this entire tournament. It's very unfortunate. I don't know if there's what the providers are like out there, but might be worth looking into another one for the old gaming house. But at the same time, yeah, as I said, they're a team that really kind of, they're a sleeping giant. And when they start to wake and when they start to play and find that fold that they play in, can become absolutely monumental in taking control of games. It is down to paiN to try to shut this down as quickly as possible. I think that is always the game you play against Liquid.
We're going to cut to a little bit of a break here while we wait for this rehost to go through, so we'll be back in just a few moments. Hello and welcome back to the series between paiN Gaming and Team Liquid. We're going to get back in here. It's going to be Oregon going in here. Remember, it was the first round going to paiN Gaming on a laundry defense from Liquid. Let's see how they figure out onto a second round here. Just wanted to note here as well that Liquid have already told us that they have a few connection issues due to something with their internet provider going on right now. Hopefully that doesn't affect them tomorrow, but today it looks like they might have a few dropouts. They're aware they're only allowed one rehost per map. We'll see how it plays out, and we'll see if that affects their gameplay style at all. So just wanted to let you guys know what's going on there if we do have any more disconnects.
It would be an unfortunate way for the tournament to come to an end for them, but obviously the end of Pro League is such a big part. You want to be able to get as much points as well. So I'm sure there is a lot more going on in their mind. The joy of things being outside of our control. But obviously the first round we saw paiN Gaming did it fairly convincingly. It was a very good push. There were still 5 and 5 players, so it was full strength. We're going to go back down to laundry and supply. Like, we're going to try and hold it again with a fairly similar loadout. The major change here is obviously Sexy Cake is now bringing the castle instead of the Maestro.
Defenders, protect your bombs from
yeah,
being
and
used by attackers.
I think that's interesting. I think obviously it's going to push out for Liquid maybe a bit more aggressive hold, and I think that something that's become obvious from the way that they played the last time, that they're desperately trying to kill this Thermite early on, because they banned the Habana, so they know if they kill the Thermite, there's no way that hatch is getting opened up, and it's going to be very, very hard for paiN Gaming to turn it into a win.
See Liquid are getting a very aggressive hold there up in Jaunts again, all over that drop down, all over that hatch on main. They want to try to lock that off, and as you said, if they could drop that Thermite, it becomes a very hard point to take for paiN.
5 seconds
Big,
to go.
a lot is kind of rolling around that front hold. But we'll see how it goes down. Obviously, Zig still has 2 black guys, 1 black guy, and where they're going to throw the remaining one remains to be seen. Be interesting to see how they hold it. They have 3 operators playing up there.
We'll see how it goes down as round number 2 will start to get underway, and we'll see exactly how this is going to go out. I mean, it's a fairly aggressive hold yet again from Liquid, but I think this castle's definitely going to help them quite a lot. I don't know, what do you think?
Well, castle, we said, is very influential in certain conditions and certain positions, and this is definitely one that could take them by surprise. Obviously, they have Sophia, they have Buck, they have the ability to start dropping it at least with grenades or with explosions, but it eats utility, precious utility, and the more they can minimize the amount that the attackers have left when they try to actually push down to the point, such a big job for Romas. This hold looks like it could do that very well.
It could do that pretty well indeed. paiN Gaming seems to be struggling a little bit here just to get a little bit more open, it seems. Just trying to push in slowly and see what they can do. Nine's going to rotate outside of Kids' doms, it seems, and go for some of the droning. And you can see how paiN Gaming know that Liquid are playing aggressively so they can kill this Thermite early on. And they're keeping that Thermite as far away from the action as possible.
Yeah, they really are, they know the game, but so does Zig, and the Thermite goes down. And now this is becoming a much harder take for paiN. FK finds Zig, locks it off, but Zig has arguably done more than enough this round.
Doing God's work here indeed. He jumps out of the window there, does manage to pick off the Thermite, but that laundry hatch is already open. So, I mean, it's not going to be impossible for paiN to do this, but without that Thermite, it's definitely going to be a lot harder to secure a little bit of a win here moving in. And I think paiN Gaming are really going to have to start to concentrate their attack a little bit more, potentially picking off a few more of these Romas. GCR trying to get the Olympic medaling ladder climbing there, but unfortunately not able to just yet.
See, obviously, Bullet is being backed up by someone watching the Valkyrie. We will assume that is Zig. And, you know, they always say if at least someone's going to get taken off the board, if it's your coach, if it's your IGL, that's not the end of the world. That's a very nice position to be able to just feed tactics and feed information to you. At the same time, you can see that they are still holding above. Sexy still buried up there. PSK finds GCR. There goes a lot of throwables. PSK does go down in the trades, and now Jackal is starting to try and find some aggression. Revolts almost catches Nesk there.
Yeah, not looking too good at all. Remote gas grenades are going to start going out into electric. Liquid looking very good to hold on to this. FK1 goes down and Bullet takes another one. No, Sexy Cake is actually going to confirm that kill onto spawns. It's a 1v4. It's all down to Revolts, and yeah, that quick shake, he doesn't know what to do. He's just going to hide, save the AWP, and Liquid take round number 2.
Well, 1-1, obviously Liquid's hold there looked much more comfortable, and as we said, that roam game, that hold upstairs, dropping the Thermite, that couldn't have gone better in their strategy books.
Could have got better indeed, looking pretty good indeed coming out from paiN Gaming, but wasn't good enough, especially such a great run out from Zig. I mean, he was going to die as soon as he did that run out, but yep. 9 going down so early on, that Thermite out of it, paiN really lost their momentum with that. Combine that with a very, not a weird roam, but a very offhanded roam coming out with that castle. I think Liquid definitely took paiN by surprise there. It's surprising
yeah.
Didn't have any disconnects that time.
Yeah, it was a heavy roam, if anything. They threw a lot of utility up there in the hopes that it would do exactly what it did. It drew them away. It pushed them out of the push that they wanted to make. They had to come away originally, and they had to approach main from a different side because of the castle, because they couldn't find a way through it with the utility that they had. And then obviously it just better, as you said, Zig run out, got the frag, worked very beautifully for them.
Yeah, while we have just a quick moment here, I do want to give a quick shout out to Siege AN on Twitter, who have been very, very useful to us at OGA, having to promote OGA and also in tracking stats for it, which we've definitely made use of.
Oh yeah, all the predictions and things I've been getting, right? They have been such a big help in that, and I can't thank them enough for just being good people.
Feels good. We're going to get through into round number 3, and I'm just going to stop talking about that mirror. Everyone knows how I feel about that mirror now on Master Bedroom.
Maybe I'll start calling it the Sternap spot.
We'll start calling it the Sternap mirror.
Do you like that?
I don't know.
We can see them setting up there. Right, Bullet is now on the Valkyrie. They've put Bullet on, and obviously Nesk is a monster on that Valk, so giving it to Bullet. Nesk obviously has some creative ideas of how they want to play the Zig on the Maestro as well. A lot of possibilities to lock down. It'll be interesting to see what Bullet does up there. GCR is starting to make their way from southwest main. Zig, again, still just drilling holes open. Again, see how long they decide to play there. They're droning it out. paiN, they know that they are very capable fraggers, and obviously the roam game was generally what took them completely by surprise and locked them down on the previous round. So they've got to be a bit more cautious of any potential retakes, refrags, and repositioning that Liquid are so good at doing.
Yeah, and we'll see exactly how it's going to work out, but Liquid still have a pretty good presence over the map. Bullet still being in Big Tower, and doesn't look like he's going to get droned out anytime soon whatsoever. Looks like Sophia charges are going to start going out. Sexy Cake almost getting picked there from the main door, but oh, you'll go down! Oh, that's terrible from Sexy Cake. already down, but not out just yet. As GCR going to rotate through into Garage, trying to open up some vertical play and some vertical pressure onto Armory. See what he can do, as the rest of the rotates do come from paiN, but Bullet does manage to take the first kill of the round. There goes Spawns already, as FK1 going to rotate all the way through onto Armory, and ZXK does actually manage to get out of it alive.
Yeah, ZXK got quite lucky that there was no one really to pick up the frag. If Buck had been 5 steps further forward, he would have got the frag. 5 steps further back there and he wouldn't have got caught. This is the Valkyrie collapsing, and we exactly spoke about how Liquid do this. They collapse, they fall back to point. Their roam clear is brilliant. The C4 swings into Classroom, doesn't quite catch the player inside, but they have them locked down with Sexy Cake watching any potential escape. 9 and FK are trying to push up Armory corridor, trying to get slightly closer towards the dorms, bring the fight to them. But again, Sexy Cake and Bullet are perfectly poised to start doing what they do so well, which is collapsing, fragging.
Revolts is going to be holding down downstairs as well to make sure there's no frag potential there at all in Classroom. And that's really going to push Liquid out a little bit. But if they can push up now and kill Revolts, who has actually rotated upstairs now, they could easily put some vertical pressure on here. And a lot of that vertical pressure has already been opened up from Classroom as Escape pushes in there. But FK does manage to take down PSK. Looking pretty good for them so far. Vertical push is going to come through. Bullet takes him down. That's going to be a 4v2 now. Nine's actually going to get injured. It's all down to Revolts to push in and get the kill, but he can't get it. And no, it is going to be Bullet who takes him down. Liquid take round number 3, and very, very nicely played, very aggressively played for Liquid here on this roam.
That was, again, they really show how you can kind of utilize the space in this map. And at the beginning of this, and at the beginning of the many times we've come to Oregon, we've spoken about how the roam game can really impact it. And it's just the way Bullet moved back to point there, the way they picked up a couple of kills. The first one was on the Jackal, caught completely unaware in Big Tower. And then from then on, it was just a matter of picking them off one at a time.
Yeah, just a matter of picking them off one at a time. Indeed, not a lot of good refrag coming out from paiN Gaming there at all. And again, just missed opportunities seems to be the word of the day on Oregon.
Yeah, it's very much one of those points and one of those maps. But we go to rear stage Watchtower. Again, we've seen this point a lot more than we do in other regions. LATAM really enjoy playing this point. Certain other points. But obviously when you win 2, this is the fabled 3rd point on this map.
I mean, when there's a mirror on the board, we also see a lot of this from EU. I say that NA is the region that prefers to go to Dining Hall over all the other regions. But yeah, you are right. I mean, we don't really see too much of this at all, really. But when there's a mirror on the board, this turns into a much more viable site.
Yeah. And you can see, obviously, they're setting up, they're reinforcing a little bit between meeting. Depends how much they're going to kind of throw inside. Meeting around the stage area. They've got the reinforcements in attic as well. We know these guys can hold heavy roams off point. If not with set up bastions with floating fences, that they're very comfortable to move and just lock down. So we'll see whether they kind of translate that to this point, or again, they're just going to kind of lock up upstairs. Nest is obviously back on, still on the mirror. Bullet is still on the Valk as well. Whether they're going to throw, it looks like they're throwing generally no one too far from point at the minute.
No, but it's looking pretty good for Liquid. This is a fairly default setup that you would see from a mirror, but there's a reason there are default setups, right? That this tends to be a fairly safe one to just fall back to. And yeah, should be going pretty well for them indeed. Let's see how it does go in, and let's see how they really want to deal with this at all. Of course, something that we should note here as well is that both of these teams have pretty important Pro League games tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
obviously you only ever want to talk about the tournament that's in hand, but you've got to realize these guys have been playing for 6 months in the Pro League. They've been building up to these majors, and it's always a thing. It's the balance of what do you show, what do you not show, how bad do you want to win this prize pool, how much are you putting on tomorrow, how much are you putting on today, and how much you weigh up your opponents and how they're going to be playing this match. So what we see today could be completely different to what we see tomorrow, how much they want to change between today and tomorrow because it's so close. You don't really have a huge amount of time to come up with counter strategies and new strategies. There's a lot floating around in the knowledge of this map, but PSK is the first to go down. The smoke being dropped does get picked up though. The second grenade comes through. Sexy Cake somehow gets the frag, but PSK puts a lot of shotgun right in there. GCR with the double against the pair of them though, as the smoke decided to try to smoke it out.
Just a little bit unfortunate there on the timing there from PSK, but him and Sexygate will both go down to GCR, who's had such a great game so far and has been able to pick up quite a number of frags. As he spawns on his famous roll here on the Jackal, as we see Ness still holding down onto this mirror. And I think this is one of the crouching mirrors that I actually really agree with, because the peak that it comes through onto a head level, because you see it's kind of dipped at the other end of Attic.
Yeah, it's nice to see you enjoy some mirror plays, I think, after a lot's kind of gone against you, the Sternum space as well, but it's nice for them to start playing it. But they're starting to put aggression on. 30 seconds left on the clock. Zig is trying to find a nice way to start countering this. Nesk is ready with the C4. There it goes, but somehow does not connect with the plant. Spawns, picks off Zig, instantly gets dropped. There's Nesk with an almost beautiful take, but Spawns somehow gets the frag, and it is now down to a very injured Valkyrie bullet. Beautiful shooting, but 9 from underneath locks it down.
Honestly, a really good attempt at a big tower hold, but that rear stage plant is so hard to deal with. And yeah, you said the Nitro didn't quite connect, but it is one of those things where you could throw that Nitro as far as you want, but a lot of the times it doesn't end up connecting. There's also a big thing which happened there. I don't know if many people saw what happened, but Zig threw his Griswold mine as the initial plant went down, and it detonated. And if that Griswold sort of effect happens, it pulls you out of the planting animation. So yeah, it's a good way of denying the plant as well, just saving those Griswold mines until the end. And it was a good idea from Zig to try and deny that a little bit more, and then also give time to line up a Nitro. Unfortunately, it didn't come through from Nesk, and somehow didn't get that kill onto Spawns, having gone for the run out.
The amount of times you see that dropout and the amount of times it doesn't go right, it's a very hard angle to control at the end of the day. It's a very hard angle to know how you want to take it, and maneuvering in Siege whilst falling through the air is not an easy feat, especially when you're trying to get bullets into another player. It kind of boils down. But we're seeing Sexygate back on this castle. We're seeing them generally going for a similar hold to how they had it before. Obviously, Zig is now on the Valkyrie. We'll see whether they can drop 9.
What's interesting here as well is, of course, that this is the defense-oriented map, especially for Liquid, that they've commonly won a lot of defenses here in Oregon, especially in their game against FaZe earlier in this tournament as well. But right now, this is looking a lot more even than I thought it was going to be, with Liquid starting on the defense. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, Liquid almost look a bit tame compared to how they were playing against FaZe. FaZe, it was a very... the aggression was very high. The way they were playing was kind of not choreographed, but they were just kind of demanding control of the map. Whereas this, they're happier to let paiN start to fall against them, start to fall into them, and then try to counterplay against that. And both are viable. Obviously, you've got the caliber to pull off both. It's just so far, this isn't looking as comfortable for them.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes through, as paiN Gaming will start to go for a bit of a room clear here and opening up a lot of these windows, a lot of these angles, and see what they can do here to try and push in. And again, that window that GCR just opened up, perfect opportunity for them to nade through onto where that mirror is. And GCR is going to just do that exactly. The first down comes through, bullet down Spawns, but instantly traded out by FK1. Great job of getting the refrag there. GCR will start to push up, will open up a hatch that is soft, very surprisingly.
Yeah, that was kind of, well, you say misplay, but pros never misplay on the setup, so they've obviously been very confident in their roamers to lock this down. But hey, look at GCR and 9. They have shut down upstairs, and they are forcing them back further and further. FK is looking for more blood upstairs. Sexygate has pulled just to the entrance of meeting. FK finds Zig, and that is all the upstairs clear, and they still have over a minute to start pushing downstairs.
Yeah, lots of time left remaining. Of course, GCR going to be opening up onto the top of Armory here, it seems. Sexygate is going to try and push through. Does successfully get a headshot onto FK1, and will return it back down to the site. Very well, nicely played there from Sexygate. A 3v3 situation now. Not looking too good for paiN Gaming. They had a good roam clear to start with, but that is looking pretty bad for them now, as Sexygate will return to the big tower position. Still on that roam, still threatening a flank. But we're not seeing too much utility being burnt here at all from Liquid, as rogue gas grenades will start to come out from Nesk. PSK, I believe, still has a Nitro, and yes, he does. Just holding down behind that mirror window. Still loads of opportunity here for Liquid to pull something off. Sexcake does return onto this roam, of course, a little bit more aggressively, pushes through onto the main dorms. Sexcake is going to be fairly lit up, though, but PSK does have a Nitro in hand. Flashbangs are going to go out, but it's not going to successfully land, as Nesk still holding it all down. And it's just the rush starts to come through from GCR. Sexcake takes down 9. The Nitro from PSK takes down Revolt. It's all down to PSK to try and finish off GCR here. But GCR's actually managed to feign him way into the site. He's playing Ring Around the Rosies. He takes down Ness, but can't find 2 more.
Operators, you are out of time.
Team Liquid will win round number 5 by time.
Well, that was, I think, a very important round for Liquid to take. Obviously, setting yourself up to now start pushing against a defense that is pretty solid lineup for them to choose from. Obviously, they don't have the Echo or the Clash, but they do have the Mirror and they do have the Maestro on the board as well. They're going to go to Laundry for the first time. Mirror's currently not on the board. I would assume a 6th pick, but it'll be interesting to see how Liquid want to take them, because we've said before, they're a team that does work well very aggressively, getting those picks, getting those drop downs, getting whatever, and obviously they do not have a Habana either.
No, that is very important. They don't have the Habana here. And as Liquid did during their attacks, during their defenses, that this Thermite was very, very key to a successful defense. If you kill this Thermite early on, it's kind of all over for the attackers.
Yeah, he's become a very important man, Thermite, in this setup and in this game. So the game is keep Thermite alive.
Yeah, the game is keep Thermite alive. Indeed, we are going to see Team Liquid first attack round, as paiN Gaming will start their first defense actually upstairs. But we see this quite a lot from teams recently. They tend to choose this upstairs defense instead. So we'll see that go through for them. We'll see how they do that instead. And I think they're going to do an aggressive Mirror here, potentially in Kitchen or most likely in Meeting Hall.
Yeah, I mean, Mirror can be very solid upstairs, obviously. Just depending on how much you want to devote offside, depending where you want to end up playing your Mirror. If you're happy to have someone kind of watching it and keeping control and meeting, you can get a lot of space for yourself.
Of course, the objective is actually downstairs in Laundry, but they are holding it aggressively.
Yeah, that's what I meant. If the objective of what you want to pull off is holding aggressively upstairs.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is fairly aggressive roam game coming out, however, from paiN Gaming. I'm interested to see how successfully it goes for them, just because, you know, Sexcake is playing on the Jackal here. He's had a great amount of frag potential throughout all of these games so far, but just having a Jackal generally on an aggressive Oregon means that you're going to have a pretty good time tracking down all of these defenders and just pinching them out, especially used in combination with something like Ashe or any kind of soft breaching at all, like Sophia. That can really prove a problem for you.
Yeah, it's that you always say your selection is what can completely bottleneck your attack, and they've kind of found themselves struggling immediately against the reinforcements, against these walls, and GCR drops Nesk, taking down Ashe. Nesk is a very big take. Again, that is, yeah, you lost some soft destruction, but you've lost that big fragger and a big player there.
Yeah, Leisure Minds are going to go out, but yeah, as you said, Nesk being one of the most important fraggers across Liquid's lineup. But in this tournament, we've seen more Sexcake really pulling it in for Liquid, so maybe not too important after all, but losing a fragger at all early on with no trade back is not going to look good at all for you. Again, that Laundry hatch not being reinforced, I think is doing a little bit more with the reinforcement economy coming out here from both teams, that they played both their reinforcements fairly aggressively, and therefore don't have the reinforcements to successfully reinforce things that they would do.
Yeah, obviously you can see they look like they're not even going to try and pick some of the Romans off. Instead, they're going to just start burrowing their way through the point. They're not going to go for the counter frag. They've realized we've got a minute left. We've got to start pushing against this drop down. We've got to start pushing against this stairway. They have it open. They have a lot of utility generally left between the setup. They're just going to completely ignore any of those Romans. There goes the Maestro cam in the corner. The C4s are primed. The C4 goes out and finds Zig with a beautiful loop. Now it is the 30 seconds to get that diffuser and get it down.
Yeah, those Capital Balls are going to go out, but that Nitro is down, so this does actually leave a lot of potential here for a clutch, The plant coming through, but GCR from the bottom of the hash playing so aggressively. Takes Sexy Cake clean down with a headshot, tries to find another one, but PSK will not let him have it. Will score the first kill for Liquid this round as Bullet does go down, but PSK finds yet another one. That's 2-piece for him as he tries to find desperately more kills. But he does have the fuse. He's just going to drop the hatch, but he's surrounded on all sides. FK1 will take him down from the hallway. paiN Gaming take round number 6 and an insanely aggressive hold coming out from them, but a very well played one.
Yeah, they almost fought fire with fire there. They saw how Liquid were playing and they took the fight to similar boundaries. Hey, it worked very well for them. Again, we've spoken about how Liquid are a team that like to wake up. But you kind of look at the bottom there and you see they're struggling to find their feet. They're just struggling to find their way in this map. And we've said they've probably got a lot on their mind with important games tomorrow. And previously, it just doesn't seem like they have the same fire that you're so used to seeing. At the same time, paiN, they're bringing it quite locked down. Their strategies are running for them. It's working for them. They're working as a unit as well. And they're generally running it pretty sturdily.
Generally running it pretty sturdily indeed. With C6 picks coming out here, GCR from the Bandit onto the Pulse. And Nesk is going to be playing the Ying yet again. I mean, we saw Nesk play a decent amount of Ying previously. Yeah, but honestly, hasn't really worked out for him that well. We haven't really seen Ying having too much success on Oregon overall.
No. Ying is obviously, we've spoken about the importance of what Ying can bring to attackers off, to how they want to push, but when it's kind of shut down at the pass and when you just don't really get the opportunity to run with it, okay, it's shut down at the pass, you can really do. So it's, you've got to find how you want to tip your spear and you've got to find how you want to put that Ying and where you want to put the pressure on with the Ying. Obviously, you look behind what can be playing behind that Ying. You've obviously got PSK on the Capitao. You have the Zephyr. We'd assume Sex Cake on the block is going to be finding different routes. There's a lot that can entry. There's a lot that can end with. There's a lot that can cause damage right into the core of site, and Nesk has no fear doing that.
Well, we will see how exactly that does work out. As paiN Gaming are going to go upstairs for their second defense here, but looking pretty good for them. But as we say, Oregon tends to be defender-sided, and Liquid did win the majority of their defenses.
They are starting to dig holes, starting to open up vertical. As we said, Sexy Cake could get a lot of control from that side. It looks like they're going a little bit slower than you would have expected. Obviously, spawning on the far side, Sexy Cake is cleaning steadily alongside or outside, even on Big Tower, just watching those cross windows. They want to get window control. Zig is starting to move up to the open double windows.
Yeah, he's going to be able to do that instead. And again, with this kind of attic hold that's not really happening from paiN Gaming right now, could open up potential just to push through onto those kids' dorms windows. But we do see GCR on the Pulse is going to be playing fairly aggressively here into dining. I wonder if Nesk is aware of this. He's going to put a claymore down onto the top of the bins outside of the dining room there, so that should cut off any rotate from happening from there. But again, that does push out the possibility of a kids' dorms just repel, and maybe even a repel in from Nesk being moved going for a Candela play.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're trying to set themselves up to cover, and we've already seen today the run-out potential on that position on map. We've seen it from Liquid as well. They are comfortable running out, so they are more than aware of what's going to happen there. But again, the longer time they wait, Spawn looks away from the flash. The utility is starting to come through. There's 2 of them stacked in. Minute 20 left on the clock. They haven't started repelling, but they have started throwing. They're going to try and burn Jaegers and find where they are. You can hear the Jaegers going off. They're firing from potentially underneath as well, but they still haven't locked off anything major. And you can see it looks like they're setting up to try to get a counter peek. They are in kitchen. They are looking towards that door and looking towards the potential of a run out. Bullet finds spawns during that, pushing against big double window. And they are again closing down. Just under a minute left.
Candles are going to start going out here onto the kids. Storms almost a Nitro. Oh, the Candles do got successfully, though. The run out comes through, but gets shut down. Ness just repels all the way in, having deployed all of his Candles. Bullet gets 1 to 9. And it's all down to GCR and Revolt. So Nitro goes out, but does miss. paiN Gaming are left in a 2v4 now, all down to Revolts and GCR. And Nitro down, but GCR does manage to find a kill regardless using the ump. Takes down Zig, as be Revolts who finds a beautiful headshot. Sexy Cake and GCR from below using the vertical angle to take down Nesk, and Revolts with the hip fire takes down Bullet, and a 2v4 into a 2v0. paiN Gaming take round number 7.
That was very great play from the Maestro and the Pulse underneath, and it shows you just how important keeping a little bit of control on vertical was, because they were both ready and primed just to shut it down. And even though the C4 whiffed, it didn't stop them. Just being able to look up, pick up frags.
A little bit of panic there, I think, when you see a Nitro just appear next to you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how blind the operator is. That's one button in your hand, and that was very, very close. Good reactions to drop it, but we head to rear stage Watchtower on a 4-3. paiN, for the first time in a while, are back in the lead. Ever since the first round, actually, are back in the lead of this game. Can they keep extending that in their defensive rounds?
We'll see how exactly they can go through with this as we move into round number 8, and we are going to see a rear stage and Watchtower defense. Now, when Liquid went here to defend, we were saying about how this is honestly a fairly viable defense when you have a mirror on the board, but Liquid were completely unable to deny the plant going down at rear stage, and just, yeah, really hard to do.
We've got to see if paiN have any more bright ideas. I think they've got the Vigil, so what they're intending to do is important. Not seeing any ACOGs on the board. It's generally you see a lot across big tower. They'll throw a dock up there, they'll throw a rook up there, or just keep control. But no, it seems like they want to kind of keep this internal. And how it's going to translate to the hold, well, it's their roles to play, it's their risk to play, and their comfort.
And we'll see how it goes down as we move into round number 8. I don't know, we've seen pretty good defenses coming out from paiN as well as a great clutch defense coming out from them, but with the way that I'm seeing that they set up for this, I don't think that this is that great, because they don't seem to be playing a mirror in the meeting hall. You see how Ness played his where he put the mirror in meeting hall facing into rear stage. Yeah. They're not doing that.
No, they're seeming to throw a lot more of their kind of utility in the actual tower itself. Obviously, they still have GCR and Revolts, and apparently 9 now playing inside meeting, but you've got to think that at some point you might have to retake, you might have to start pushing against it if you give them more angles to hide behind as attackers, because they're normally, generally, especially with Hibana off the board, not going to be looking for immediate hard destruction. You know these guys love bringing soft destruction. You know they love playing these big angles. You've got to kind of weigh that into your consideration when you start using your utilities.
Yeah, we'll see lots of drones coming out here from Liquid to try and get an angle onto what is happening exactly. But I think that their main advice here is to just push up around the top of the big tower and try and maybe rappel in and get quick control over the top. When that successfully does come through, it does work out quite well. ZexK does manage to try and find a quick early kill here, but it's going to be Nesk with the Ash Charge, who does finish off spawns. Beautifully played there from Nesk. That is going to mean that the only roamer who was upstairs is already down, so paiN Gaming are losing a lot of opportunity here to gain control. That's
often why you, as I said before, you throw someone with an ACOG and a fair chunk of armor up there just to try and hold top as long as possible. Even get some aggressive counter piece, which we've seen actually work against Liquid. Previous people have played them on here. PSK does find FK1. It's now a 5 versus 3, and the walls are steadily closing. 9 is playing at the very bottom by Harry Potter, and GCR is going for a potential run out if he can just find the Claymore ducks underneath it and manages to get a beautiful kill, but the diffuser is down. It is 1 versus 4 Vigil. Look at the top window, because Nesk is a knockin'.
Really nicely played there from Liquid, and as I said, just if you get that upstairs control, it can just go so well for you. And yeah, great shot from Nesk right there at the end. Does take round number 8 into the favor of Team Liquid, and evens the score but out 4-4. So we are going to see all 10 rounds played here. But is it going to be an overtime, or will it be a victory for one of these teams? Let's find out. But paiN Gaming, that's their only unsuccessful defense so far.
Yeah, it's been exceptionally balanced this game, obviously, so far. No one has ever been more than 1 round ahead of the other team. It has been completely bat for bat. These guys are bringing it. They're bringing a very even game. They're bringing a very even competition to this point. Obviously, we have said the preference for defenders on this general side, and it was a 3-2 going into it. They've played Watchtower. It didn't work. They're able to rotate back to Laundry, and then they'll be able to rotate back to Dorms, which is 2 successful defenses. So it is in their favor. However, we're starting to see some stuff shaken up. Again, this is what Liquid love to do. Finka is now being bought by Sexy Cake, who has rotated through so many different ops. Nesk is now bringing the F2 of Twitch as well. They still have bullet, they still have PSK to kind of lead these charges. It might be the sign that they're starting to get a bit more aggressive.
The thing that I don't really like here from paiN, and I think that's why 6K picked the Thinker here, is there's no smoke.
Yeah. No smoke. That's it's a decision.
We saw that earlier as well, where we had like a Thinker pushing all the way into Laundry Basement. They tried to go for a plant, but the Thinker buff was activated. The smoke came through. They got like a triple kill using just the smoke canister. So if there's no smoke on the board, Thinker is a great pick here, especially for that sort of basement rush in that you could go through. Something that went really wrong here for Liquid is that their roam clear was just not on point at all.
No, they kind of devoted some time, lost one operator to it, and then went, okay, let's just try and push the point. And you can't really do that. You just allow so much in the hands of the defenders because A, the roamers have already accomplished their job there, so they've got a pick and they've taken some time. But B, they're still alive. They're still alive, they're still out there, and they're still able to start closing down on you. And when you're starting to push these very tight angles, it is not easy, but unfortunately, Bullet disconnects. GCR is looking for the fight at the front door, however.
Let's see, it does go down. Yeah, unfortunately, it's going to be a 5v4 already. And we'll see exactly how that is going to affect things, as paiN's still pretty aggressive with it, as it is. Bullet will return. So we'll see how exactly it's going to go through. paiN with a bit of a nitro here into the nest, but he is going to avoid it successfully. Still looking pretty good for Liquid, though. They have managed to gain control of a lot of areas, and they've already burned utility on the board here. But they still need to find a frag here. But what? What is Nine doing? He's up in a big tower. He just looks up at the ceiling and throws a nitro. What just happened?
That looked like a 360 nitro no-scope attempt. And
I think what happened was that he rotated down and he didn't expect Sexy to push in. He just kind of threw his mouse across the room.
Yeah, that was not a good moment for him. That was a lot of fear, I think we saw translated. But they're doing the reset on Sexy Cake. They still have over a minute left. There's plenty of time. Stacking up now 4 versus 4. So obviously it was a disconnect, which is unfortunate. But they have a lot of possibility. Mirror off the board as well. You should use their utility. You've not got a smoke to deal with, but you do have Maestro and Legion. They're 2 very good late round operators. So how will they start to close down?
Yeah, Nesk is going to move through onto the big tower using that Twitch. That F2 is so devastating at close range. Let's see if he can make it do something, as it will open up onto blue and try to push through onto electric there. 60K holding down to Anting, making sure that no rotates can come that way. But it's 4v4, 35 seconds left to go.
35 seconds. Indeed. Now, you can see Spawns is holding that long angle. Revolts is still hanging around in the cupboard waiting behind the mirror window. Nesk is slowly creeping up. There'll probably be a point where they want to bring Sexy Cake. There's only 20 seconds left. Sexy finds 1, Nesk finds 2 with a very clean take there. Spawns is all there is left as the diffuser is going down. No nitro, no way to stop this. And Sexy Cake stops it themselves. Beautiful, beautiful execute there from the team.
And yeah, Liquid being able to bring it through very well, despite being a man down right at the start of that round, will bring it in and will push it through into round number 10. Looking very, very nice for them indeed. It is going to be match point to Team Liquid right now. A good opportunity to take the first map of the series if they try and do so. I mean, they've been doing pretty well on the attack, considering that this tends to be defender-sided. They've won the last 2 rounds in a row. We often say that Latin America is a very momentum-based region.
Yes, yes, we do. And it shows. Obviously, it shows in their play, and we've said that Liquid, the longer you give them, the more time you give them in terms of a game length, the better they get. And this wouldn't... So far, in both their opening games, they've brought them back from being 4-1 down to overtime, and then eventually winning overtime. And that was against FaZe. That was against whoever they played last week. I remember it, I promise. That was against their previous match as well. They're a team that the more time you give them on a map, the better and better they get. paiN, you know, they've had some very good ideas. They're on the defense. They do have the upper hand, but they're just kind of losing firefights. They're making a couple of mistakes, a couple of over-rotations, and a couple of communication drops. It's causing them to get picked off.
Well, let's see how they do handle this match point and see if they can bring it in, but I don't know. paiN Gaming haven't really looked too impressive so far on these defenses.
I mean, we always talk, obviously, about preferences and about power and about how much you have, whether you're on the attacker or defender, and how much is in your pocket and in your hand. And having that and taking advantage of that are two very different things. And you've got to really you've got to take it, especially against these kind of regions. You've got to be confident in yourself as players to take it, get control of it, and just lock it off. So they really, again, we've said it, these are their rounds to lose, and they've got to bring it back. This is their only chance for sure, but this is their best chance, and they've got to hope the coin flip goes their way. Revolts is setting up those Maestros downstairs. They've generally thrown a fair amount inside dorms as well on the rotation and on the roam. Looks like Nesk and Bullet want to push directly through bunker. They're not going to really waste any time, and I think, to be fair, that's forcing it. But Sexy Cake instantly opening up against Spawns, using that beastly F2 to find a frag. GCR is opening a rotation and a potential run out there, maybe to throw off Sexy, who is now watching it, but they are wasting no time. Nesk finding the firefight against Revolts, but Revolts picks off Nesk and now holding it, and that is at least a dampener, and another beautiful kill there against Bullet. PSK finds it, Sexy Cake finds FK, GCR finds Sexy Cake. This is suddenly a very quick match. Still over 2 minutes left. PSK finds 9, and it's a 1 versus 1.
Yeah, GCR left alone in a 1v1 against PSK, but PSK is very, very low, and Diffuser is very much into GCR's hands now. But they've got to know where GCR is, because he did manage to pick one from Electric Hatch. He's going to know that he's up there. He's going to try and peek it out. But he does hear him go for it. Oh, he gets the smoke down. Very nicely played there from PSK onto the hatch. Just recover the Diffuser. Gets all the way out there. Gets all the way in. What? DCR doesn't even realize. He drops the hatch, but PSK won't be watching it. paiN Gaming take round number 10, and they will manage to take this into overtime.
That was a very good play there from GCR. Obviously, it was a very good play from PSK as well to get the Diffuser, get it out of there. And maybe if they'd been ready for the drop down, they would have been a very easy pickup as well. But unfortunately, they just went pretty heavy on the rotate and you push back. But that was exceptionally quick. Now, overtime, 5-5. This is the third time Liquid have brought a game to overtime. Every single opening map they have played has been overtime, and so far they've won both of them, whether they won the total set or not. And they are opening on attack, which, to be fair, they've started to wake up on.
Yeah, they have managed to wake up on just a little bit. Let's see how it goes through. As yeah, I mean, we say this is defender-sided, and we have seen the majority of the rounds go to defense still. But Team Liquid have had some very impressive attacks recently. paiN Gaming have managed to steal the momentum just a little bit, but that did come down to a 1v1, and anytime it comes down to that 1v1, it can really go either way.
It definitely took them by surprise. paiN kind of suffered, and I think they got quite, not lucky, but they were good in that they shut it down quite quickly. They rotated back round, they collapsed back round to just cover that execute. And obviously, if Nesk had got that frag against the Maestro, that would have been a completely different round.
Yeah, no, it definitely would have got a little bit interesting, let's say. As we see yet another laundry defense coming out for paiN Gaming, of course, because we're on overtime, it resets everything in terms of rotation parameters.
Yeah, it tries to make it as fair as possible, but it's also a flip of the coin, so the joy of the system that we have in place. Now, they are setting up for a fairly solid Dorms hold again. They saw that Liquid went for a quick rush, and they're going to go off the basis that they're probably not going to do it as much again. There is 9 setting up the mirror in the stun-up spot, and then rotating out of there a little bit. They're opening windows already. It seems like a lot has stacked up on the bottom of Big Tower. Spawns is finding a lot of bullets flying nearby. They know that they're closing down, and this is, again, Liquid are going for some speedy aggression here.
Yeah, we'll see how it comes down, as we'll see lots of Valkyrie cameras coming down here into the Big Tower. Spawn's going to be playing here fairly aggressively, though, as he just comes through onto Attic, realizes he can't really make anything happen there, and Bullet shuts down FK1, getting a little bit too aggressive with it there in the kids' dorms.
Yeah, we did see just before that window was breaking, that was definitely going to devolve into a firefight. FK1, unfortunately, just got out at the wrong break moment. Time to break 9 is playing at the bottom of the tower, pushing a little bit aggressively into Harry Potter, waiting for someone to come down. They know that they're setting up on that side generally for a take. But we still have Nesk hanging around on the Ash. Wants to go across and just clean up any potential roamers. This is not This is obviously very different to what they did before, where they kind of left the room. They went straight to the heart of point, and this time they are wanting to shut them down.
But we'll see how successfully they do manage to do that, because they are in a 4v5 right now. Not looking too good for paiN Gaming, as they're going to start to retreat back down to the site. Liquid have a great bit of a roam clear going on right now. Sexcake is going to manage to open up the attic hatch successfully with a bit of a nade coming out here. Does manage to drop down the hatch using his drone successfully. Drones all that out onto Getting Hole. And yeah, great bit of roam clearing here coming out from Liquid, as they are known for in Oregon.
Yeah, this is a precise Liquid, as we said. They can start a little bit shaky, but he's really shaken off the rust now. They are moving as a unit. You can see paiN have generally been shepherded all the way back towards Laundry. It's forced a lot of them down, and the drones are showering over the shoulders of PSK1. This is exactly how you want to start pushing them back. Zig is able to open up Electric Wall as Thermite. They're getting themselves more angles, getting themselves more possibilities. Some of paiN have started to play a little bit closer again. Now a few more drones have been dropped, but there's always the fear that they might come from behind you, and that is what those drones are giving paiN at the minute.
Yeah, that's what they are going to be giving it away. Nesk does manage to open up onto the boiler room here, getting ready with his Ash Charge to try and shut down a lot of the utility here. Does manage to get some Capital Bolts all the way into the back of the site there, but Bullet does get revived for the Thinker buff coming out from Zexicake. GCR gets all the way into it, but Zexicake shuts him down. Nesk with the knife hits down spawns. It's all down to 9, but he can't find it. Liquid take him down, and they take round number 11. With the final kill here, and that Thinker buff combined with that push, absolutely beautifully played from Liquid. Very fluid play.
It worked very well for them. It was the best of a lot of their kind of what we've seen from them so far, where they combine their fragging abilities, they combine their speed, but as we said, the roam clear and the drone usage on that was brilliant. How they started to just shepherd and force paiN onto the back foot and make them play against you. You take ground just from your drone work, you're putting them on the back foot. But they are now...
Well, you know, I said fluid play. You know,
fluid play?
Team Liquid.
Ah, I'm so
fluid
sorry.
Play. I can't believe you missed that.
I'm so sorry.
Get me a new co-cast, I guess.
I'll see you later. Bring back medics. But Laundry and Supply, we go down to 4. You would say this is now Liquid's to lose. They're 6-5 up. They're on the defensive. It's in hand. They're on a basement point. And they have Mirror. We've seen them, however, lose this point twice.
I think the big reason that they were losing this, though, and I like how Sexgate just 6-picked onto the smoke, maybe hoping that they were going to 6-pick onto the Thinker like he had done so. So we'll see that go down just a little bit. But yeah, as said, we have seen them lose the site. I think most of this is because how aggressively they held this with their reinforcement economy was honestly just not really that smart, honestly. They put down the Mirror onto Master Bedroom and opened up the floor in an attempt to try and deny that entry. And they spent a lot of reinforcements upstairs, but it just didn't work out for them at all. No. And thankfully this time they're not going to do that. They are going to reinforce the laundry hatch. And I think they should still try and play this aggressively, and they should still try and concentrate on picking this Thermite, but they should recognize that paiN Gaming isn't going to let them pick the Thermite that easily, that they are going to play it conservatively. But we have seen Zig run out and die, but successfully pick the Thermite anyway.
Yeah, obviously they haven't bought the castle this time as well, so they're probably not going to go for as much of a external turtle as they did before. It was like an asteroid. It was a moon hold. Call it as they
external turtle. I like that a lot.
External turtle.
Start using that.
Sure. But they are still, obviously, Nesk is playing inside meeting. They have the connector between meeting and kitchen, at least semi-reinforced. You can see that paiN are pushing quite quickly. They've already started closing down into kitchen. Sexy Cake playing down on the point with the smoke, and GCR again. They're looking to close down any potential roam, any potential response. A bit of a poorly thrown drone, but hey. And you can see again, 9 is backing them up as well. They know that they want to take Western Main. They know they want to clear it. They are worried about that roam.
They are worried about that roam indeed. Let's see how it does go through for them, as Liquid are still having a pretty good aggressive hold here. The Goon Mines are going to go out from them, and that's a pretty good Goon Mine from Nest, not because of its position, but because it doesn't actually give away where he is, and it does, you know, let them know that there is a Legion nearby, and they need to be very wary of that. But it's going to be Bullet who needs to be a little bit wary now. It does take down FK1 from Flag there, doing very well for himself, but Nest does go down to GCR. He pushes all the way into Attic, and if GCR gets complete control of Attic now, that's going to be a big problem for him.
The grenades are rolling out. They know where Bullet is, and they're just trying to find him. Spawn's holding a very long angle, hoping to catch him on the rotate, but Bullet is actually going to start playing towards main somehow. Doesn't get dropped when moving across the opening of the door. He is very concerned, and he at this point is just trying to stay alive for as long as possible. As we said, waste time, waste utility, keep alive. That is all he is trying to do. In the meantime, it looks like he's starting to get a little bit better on the rotate. He's playing back and forth. Somehow finds GCR, pushed up with a skeleton key. 9 locks off Bullet, but again, brilliant time wasting and brilliant play there. They are quickly having to shut down on Laundry Hatch, and this is all theirs to take now.
Yeah, EMPs are going to go out as well. Thermite charges down onto the Laundry Hatch. A good attempt from Liquid at a fairly aggressive hold, but is it going to be unsuccessful for them? Xexicate going to put down some remote gas grenades to try and cover his retreat here. 30 seconds left to go, but paiN, despite their successes earlier on, haven't really affected the utility on the site at all. Xexicate is going to get insanely lit up and flashbanged out as he just rotate all the way around and puts down remote gas grenades to stop any push incoming happen just yet. But PSK has a nitro. Smokes are going to go out onto PSK's position here. Zig pushes all the way up. He gets taken. He takes down Spawns. He takes down 9, but gets taken out himself by Revolts. And Nitro comes out. Revolts just looks at it. He's like, yep. Seconds before disaster, and he will die. Liquid take map number 1.
You actually saw PSK get ready with that C for a little bit, and then Zig just throws himself forward into the firefight, and Zig just kind of pushes hard. And it was kind of a moment where PSK was like, what do you mean not now? And then it was now. That was the moment, got the 2 kills, and then cleaned up.
Good halves coming out indeed. We are going to get into map 2 in just a few moments. But before we do, just want to remind you guys, we have a giveaway going on right now.